Tumultuous events are beginning to take place. Things are beginning to assemble that can place the human race in a situation it's never quite been in before in the same way to the same degree, but most people are so captivated by their own world and their own self-interest, their own pursuits, they're not seeing what's really happening. New Agers are waiting for someone called Maitreya. Muslims are waiting for the Mahdi. Buddhists are waiting for the fifth Buddha. Jews are waiting for the advent of the Messiah. Christians are waiting for the return of Christ. A spiritual counterfeit will come, quite possibly being all things to all people. He will be able to unite the world's faiths with a political agenda, coming as this messianic figure, posing as having a capability of restoring prosperity and stability in an atmosphere of utter chaos that has people terrified. In their terror about what's transpiring environmentally, what's transpiring strategically and economically, they will look to a man instead of to God, and they'll get one. This is the one the New Testament calls the man of sin.
Simply about America's interests. It's about preventing a nuclear arms race in the Middle East that could lead this region and the world down a hugely dangerous path.
Our objective will be to achieve a final status agreement over the course of the next 9 months.
The clock is ticking, but the bonhomie eclipsed by turmoil in Syria, Iraq, Egypt and Libya. Nightmares swallowing and transforming a region. The Israeli-Palestinian crisis out of the spotlight, so is Kerry's focus on again trying to forge a peace wise?
Living side by side, peace and security.
To fashion a peace that will ensure Israel's security,
in which both the Israeli people and the Palestinian people can live in peace and security.
Two states for two peoples living side by side in peace and security.
They can live side by side in peace and security.
Peace and security.
That's how we will find new pathways to peace and security. Peace and security.
Peace and security.
Peace and security.
Peace and security.
Peace and security. Peace and security. Two states living side by side in peace and security. For greater peace and security for the entire region.
So today, I state clearly and with conviction America's commitment to seek the peace and security of a world without nuclear weapons.
The 6,191st meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is before the Council in document S/agenda/6191, which reads, quote, maintenance of international peace and security, nuclear proliferation, and nuclear disarmament. Unless I hear any objection, I shall consider the agenda adopted. Agenda is adopted. Assalamu alaikum. Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim-majority country. I know because I am one of them. But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
You're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
As the Holy Quran tells us, the Holy Quran teaches that, the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says,
And a disturbing story that we are learning more about today, coming out of Egypt. A young Coptic Christian girl was shot dead on her way home from a Bible study class. Her killers apparently targeting her because of her religion. And we're seeing more and more of this kind of attack against Christians in Egypt. She was 10 years old, and she's just one of the latest victims of the chaos that has gripped that country after the army removed former President Mohamed Morsi and his Muslim Brotherhood backers from power. In the aftermath, some of their supporters have targeted Egypt's Coptic Christian community, blaming them, among others,
An uncovered Muslim Brotherhood document publicized in a terrorism funding trial in 2008 calls for the destruction of the United States. Muslim Brotherhood presidential candidate Mohamed Morsi proclaimed before thousands of supporters that jihad is our path. Despite this, Barack Obama welcomed Mohamed Morsi with open arms when he was elected president of Egypt and continued to support him while non-stop reports surfaced that the Muslim Brotherhood had set up torture chambers for its political opponents and openly crucified Christians. With the Muslim Brotherhood taken out of power to the chagrin of our Muslim Brotherhood president, Barack Obama, the Egyptian military now in power has discovered a treasured trove of documents linking the Obama regime with the illegal activities of the Muslim Brotherhood. One such document is a list of Muslim Brotherhood officials receiving secret bribes in U.S. currency paid out by the U.S. consulate, amounting to millions of dollars. Investigative journalist Jerome Corsi has obtained a copy of the document held by the Egyptian military, proving the Obama regime sent millions of dollars in bribes to the Muslim Brotherhood. But who was managing all of this money? Did the Muslim Brotherhood walk around with hundreds of thousands of dollars in their pockets? Enter Malik Obama, Obama's half-brother. According to Egyptian television, as reported by Jerome Corsi, the Supreme Constitutional Court of Egypt wanted to, quote, inform the American people that their president's brother Obama is one of the architects of the major investments of the Muslim Brotherhood.
These people want his democratically elected successor, President Morsi, to go, after what they say is a year of economic misrule in which he's pushed the Muslim Brotherhood's version of Islam on all Egyptians. There's also a grievance against the American government. Last week, Ambassador Ann Patterson met the Deputy Supreme Leader of the Brotherhood. That led to accusations of taking sides. What's the American ambassador?
Yeah, because
what does this say?
This is leave, loser. Yeah, go away. Stop burning. Stop making Egypt going down. And this is for the American ambassador because she's supporting Khairat Shater and supporting the Islamic project.
One thing I wanted to ask you, I've seen in the media some pictures of demonstrators not only protesting against President Morsi, or former President Morsi, I guess I should say, but also against U.S. President Obama, saying that President Obama allied himself with terrorists, with the Muslim Brotherhood, with a fascist regime, against the ambassador there, Ms. Patterson. I don't know how prevalent...
The beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
I finally fell asleep and dreamed I was walking along a village road. Children dressed only in strings of beads played in front of the round huts, and several old men waved to me as I passed. But as I went farther along, I began to notice that people were looking behind me fearfully, rushing into their huts as I passed. I heard the growl of a leopard and started to run into the forest, tripping over roots and stumps and vines, until at last I couldn't run any longer and I fell to my knees in the middle of a bright clearing. Panting for breath, I turned around to see the day turn to night, and a giant figure looming as tall as the trees, wearing only a loincloth and a ghostly mask. The lifeless eyes bored into me, and I heard a thunderous voice saying only that it was time, and my entire body began to shake violently with the sound, as if I were breaking apart.